Problem 5, coming to you. When X is the number of years past 1950, the percent of unmarried women who get married each year is given by that equation. And so as we've seen with some of the other examples, this model was probably accurate for a few years, but would not be something that we would be able to use to make a prediction about this today. That being said, we're going to continue. We're going to identify and interpret the slope and the y-intercept of this equation. So the slope in this case is going to be negative 0.762, meaning that 0.762% of unmarried women from 1950 forward got married each year. So that equates to about a little bit less than one woman out of 100 women would have gotten married each year after 1950. So the y-intercept in this case, everyone, is 85.284, meaning that in the beginning, in this case 1950, 85.284% of women were married. Okay. And so that's quite a large population was married in 1950, and then every year after that, it grew. Or sorry, it went down by 0.762. So I'm actually going to rewrite my interpretation of the slope. I didn't notice the negative on there. So that would mean that after 1950, so the slope is negative 0.762, meaning that the percent of married women dropped. By 0.762% each year after 1950. I don't know why I put a decimal right there. That's kind of crazy. Okay, there we go. I'm tired. I've been making videos forever. So anyway, everyone, so it looks like the percent of women who were married began to decline after 1950. And our next question is, what percent of unmarried women does this model predict will become married in 2020? And does this prediction make sense? Why or why not? And so again, I've said this multiple times throughout many of these videos so far. These models are good at predicting short-term into the future, not necessarily long-term. And so recognize that in our case, this is past 1950, 2020 is 70 years later. So we would be doing this with 70 as the value that goes in for X. And so we will take a look. I'm not sure how accurate this prediction is going to be because, again, these models don't necessarily do a great job of predicting long-term into the future. We can actually Google it and see how accurate this model ended up being. And again, instead of putting in M of 70, we are going to put in Y because Wolfram will not like the M of 70. And so we've got to put a 70 there, plus 85.284. And so it looks like it interpreted it correctly. It looks like this is predicting that M of 70 is going to be 31.944. And so the way to interpret that, everyone, would be that in 2020, oops, 31.944% of unmarried women will become married. So if you've got an unmarried friend out there, the chances based on this model that that person will become married in 2020 is about 30% or about 1/3. So this is saying that 1/3 of unmarried women would become married in 2020 based upon this model. How accurate is that? I'm not sure. It's just a math problem. Okay, moving on to problem number 6 in just a moment. We'll be back with that one very shortly, everyone.